Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to return $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for as little as $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In the previous video we did an update on some key market makers that have been now exposed, so please refer back to that previous video. In today's video we're going to be doing a follow-up on a previous video with regard to the market makers, and in today's video I'm also going to be looking at 5 possible scenarios that we could expect going forward in terms of resolving the current situation. And I'm also going to be sharing with you some updates that are quite positive from John Brda. So first one here, just shared a few minutes ago, we can see here what John has said is got a private message from a shareholder expressing our position as MMTLP, Bridge Hydrocarbons shareholders. We all hold together 3.2 billion barrels of oil that the world desperately needs and 500 million shares of Bridge Hydrocarbons authorized that the shorts desperately need. Think about that. The one thing I'd like to say in addition to what John has said is we also have ownership of a huge gas reserve. So that is something in addition to the oil, and that is also something that the world needs right now, especially with the situation that we know is going on with Russia. And the other post I'm going to share with you from John is for those asking about Bridge Hydrocarbons, the potential is there. You are in good hands. The team is very strong, and more importantly, the project, the potential is going to be game-changing. However, for him this is personal, and obviously I think what John is referring to is the short and distort naked shorting that has been happening for too long along with the holders. So if you remember the previous Torchlight Energy, that was almost destroyed by the shorts. It was very heavily shorted. Time is now up to play the cards to the bitter end. Never quit till they are exposed. Stay strong in this journey. We want the dollars and we want justice, so I do believe we will get justice. The next thing I'd like to do is provide an update in the previous video for one of the alleged market makers by the name of Ari Rubenstein. So on a post that I shared earlier today, I've stated here, just for clarification, Ari on his profile page says he is a member of FINRA's Market Surveillance Advisory Board. So he's not a member of the main board, but he is a member of the Market Surveillance Advisory Board of FINRA. And what Ari also states is that he frequently collaborates with the regulators, and I've also added on, I'm sure you do, Ari. So let's have confirmation of this, because the reason why I'm clearing this up is people were saying he's not actually visible on the picture of the board, so hopefully that's now cleared up. But let's this is the person in question, Ari Rubenstein, one of the companies identified by John Brda, co-founder and chief executive officer of GTS, also works very closely with FINRA, as he stated. So let's have a look at confirmation of him here in his profile on his website. Second paragraph down, he frequently collaborates with regulators as a member of the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority Market Surveillance Advisory Board, and his industry peers on efforts to ensure pragmatic investor first oversight of our financial markets. Well, we are investors, and I'm hoping your efforts are also going to help us, and certainly hope you're not going to disappoint us there, Ari. But let's have a look at this membership that he is of. So we'll have a look at the FINRA website here. They have a board which is called the Market Surveillance Advisory Group, so it looks like he is providing some advice to FINRA. I wonder if he's able to share what kind of advice he is offering them. And the final thing I'd like to do is give a shout out to a concerned shareholder here by the name of Harry and Harry Fukuta Investments. I think there may be a possibility we could get together to maybe create a GoFundMe page for Harry. And the reason why is Harry is saying to Ari, go FCK yourself, you trashy con artist, you owe me my Pornhub Gold subscription, excuse the implications there. Back, you owe me a stake of the month club's membership and my subscription to Beers and Days magazine. I'm broke. My wife is going to leave me again. This time I have nothing to give her. MMTLP. So very, very worried about Harry. Let's see if we can reach out to Harry and help him out. Next thing I'd like to do is give a shout out to the Bird Lady for an excellent video, and this is something that is being discussed in the community, and the headline in the video here is MMTLP trading is taken away by FINRA, shares did not get reconciled. So there was some little bit of digging going on by the Bird Lady, and what she stated here is that there could be a liquidity issue. So brokers after all are seeing the high sell limit orders and the shares did not get reconciled. So there is a problem there, and I think in my opinion this may be one of the reasons why we got the halt. So shout out here to Dustin, who's reached out, and he said in terms of this new video that we've looked at, in terms of the digging that she did, it looks like there were 165 million shares that we know about going into NextBridge registered already through AST. So if that is the case, what happens to the other 250 million synthetic shares that have just also potentially going to have the right to become NextBridge? So this is a big mess, and this is something that is the responsibility of the brokers. And when we buy shares as retail investors, we do not ask to buy synthetic shares. The brokers may provide them to us, but it is not our responsibility and it's not our liability, it is their responsibility. So if you, let's say for example, have purchased or have ownership of a synthetic share, it is their responsibility. So what we have is a huge mess. Who's it created by? It's not been created by us, it's been created by the brokers and obviously the authorities. So the other thing I'd like to give a shout out here is to Crucial Mix, who's basically summarized what we've just looked at here. You can't fit a square peg into a round hole. NextBridge plane has got 165 million seats, and the hedges and the brokers sold 300 million seats. So I once was on a flight that was overbooked, and I was offered close to £1,000 compensation plus a free flight. So that's what normally happens. That's called demand and supply, and that is not called solving the situation to my satisfaction. So that's what should happen. But the other thing I'm going to go back to is in the previous video we talked about the buy and sell volume. If you remember the day before, evidence of these synthetics. So shout out here to William Hazeltine from the Facebook page of Metamaterials, and he's stating here the feeling of being 100% right and being stripped of the possibilities. Speechless. I guess that's what we get for actually sticking together. 92% buys, 8% sells on the last day of trading, and we saw close to a 58% fall in price. Now, can anybody explain that? What I'd now like to do is finish off by presenting to you 5 possible scenarios for fixing this problem. So let's have a look at the 5 scenarios. Number 1 here, the company will be discussing a compromise behind the scenes with the market makers with offers possibly between $80 and $120 per MMTLP share. And I know many of you are not going to be happy about this, so don't start shouting, but that may be something that we may have to compromise off if the company are looking at that. The other scenario here is the company delayed the spin out to allow MMTLP to start trading on the OTC again. So that is something that they could do, but they have the right to do that, and then look at trying solving the problem at a later date. Number 3, the spin out is completed with an offer of around $100 per share with PR announced of a buyer. Number 4, a legal challenge by the company against the market makers, which delays things, and I'm sure none of us want that, especially if it is a lengthy delay. So don't really want number 4, although it is an option. So number 5 is the best scenario. This is the ideal scenario. This is the scenario that should be used if we have true justice. And the reason why I'm saying that is when we as investors, retail investors, invest in a stock, if it doesn't squeeze, we don't go crying to FINRA, we don't go crying to the SEC, we take it on the chin. So let's have a look at the ideal scenario. Trading resumes Monday 12th of December for 2 more days. Shorts close their positions using all sell limit orders up to, let's say, $1,000 per share, because we are reasonable people as stated by Tony in Market Moves, and I agree with Tony. We're going to compromise here. No sell limit orders of 2,000. We will remove them, no problem, but we'll go with $1,000 per share, because I'm with Tony on this, and I'm also reasonable. So the brokers then liquidate it on behalf of the shares if the share, so on behalf of the shorts if they don't close. and brokers deal with one of the many millions of synthetic shares, so only the genuine retail investors of MMTLP get their entitlement to next bridge. So that's the ideal scenario, and that, my friends, is the reason why we are no longer trading, because they did not want this scenario to happen. Finally, if anybody would like to join the Discord and get access to our weekly watch list, you can certainly consider joining us for little as $9 a month. Information is available in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.